come and look, but the point is not necessarily what you see on the screen. It will be at some point, but not right now. What the real point is, the process. And let me describe the number of people who've been engaged in bringing this here. Because the point I want to make is not that it's been a national process, but an international one. That is a cooperation between a number of individuals and institutions in different nations. And they cooperated because they knew each other, they knew the project, and they wanted to see it here. And for me, that marks a kind of difference in the approach to certainly to exhibiting here that goes well with the nature of the Prime Museum and the challenges it offers to conventional curatorial practice. You know, I've spent most of my life going to museums and going to galleries where I used to, until I worked in one, I used to hesitate a little bit before I entered one because I wasn't sure that I was welcome within those walls necessarily. I wasn't sure, I certainly knew I couldn't afford to buy anything. I wasn't sure whether I could understand what I was looking at. I wasn't sure that anybody wanted me to go in or look at it or understand it. And I think that feeling marked a sense in so there's a point at which we, curators, and people who are interested in memory, there's a point at which we need to think about the way that we display things, about the opportunities that we offer to enter into a relationship with the work that we want to show. And that goes beyond this movement and this particular audience. It goes beyond the other kinds of audiences that have seen and will see the Prime Museum. It says something in the end about how we're going to deal with the business of continuing the enterprise of making and displaying art objects. And I didn't make any larger claims for the Prime Museum than that it is one way of moving forward into a new kind of era. An era where we can have museums without walls, where we can have access for both artists and audiences, free of the kind of moral conditions and conditioning that we're accustomed to. When I say moral, I mean in terms of restraint. So I think the Prime Museum offers a challenge to everything we see around us. It offers a challenge to the exclusivity of the walls. It offers a challenge to the exclusivity of the idea that there are experts making choices who offer you permanent notions of what the canon is, what is
what is correct, and what you ought to be looking at. And as I said at the beginning, I'm not going to thank anybody for coming here and watching the Crime Museum, because you can do as you like. You can watch it or not. You can pass on by or you can stop. It is something that offers you the freedom to see it, to engage with it, or not, as you wish. I think that's kind of new. And that's a model for experimenting and exploring the act of seeing. It's a model for trying to cope with the conflicts that we have over the struggles about cultural ownership in a society which is continually changing and where culture has become a site of struggle. The Crime Museum, I think, offers us a glimpse of a way out of some of the contradictions we have to live with. Thank you, Renee. It's a lovely idea and a lovely thing, and I'm enjoying it. Have another drink, everybody, as long as the wine holds out. Watch the thing and talk about it. Thank you.